Welcome back, everybody. This Week in America on the Blue Funk Broadcasting Radio Network. Great to have you with us on the program today. Website, of course, thisweekinamerica.us. As mentioned, our guest on the show is Ron Cummings, CEO and founder of Aminogenesis Skincare, a biotech company in Southern California that develops and acquires anti-aging technologies from all around the world. I'm going to be listening closely during the course of the program today. Ron, thank you for joining us on This Week in America. Great to have you with us.
You know what? I'm honored to have the invitation to be on your show today. I'm excited. I've been fired up about it all day.
Well, I have too, because you're going to help us out here with this whole anti-aging thing. And there's really no better person to talk about it than you. You are a great walking billboard for the products that you represent. Let's talk a little bit about your background and how you got into this. Your skin was hammered by, and you live in Southern California, so you've got some damage out there. You've got adult chickenpox you had to deal with. A case of facial dermatitis. I mean, you really came about this because this was actually something you needed.
Well, yeah, I mean, come on, imagine, I'm in my early 30s, and I'm already, I look like a ruddy, weather-beaten Irishman, so to speak. I always joke, because I'm very fair-skinned. And yes, indeed, I got the worst case of adult chickenpox, and the sun and all that just took a toll, and I was very, very self-conscious. And so I was actually just telling this story to someone else today that I was playing golf, and I got paired up with a brilliant Harvard-trained retired doctor, and he just, out of sympathy, said, "Look, young man, here, I want you to try this, and then give me a buzz and let me know what you think. You'll take 2 in the morning and call me."
Yeah, right.
So So I did, and I used it, and literally within like 2 months, people were actually just like, they were absolutely stopping me and going, "Okay, we've been watching this happen. What have you done? What did you do? Your skin's gone from what we know as a pretty ruddy-looking complexion to just porcelain perfect." And, I was kind of embarrassed about it, but I started telling them the story about this, and they go, "Well, whatever it is, I want some of that." So it all started, and I go, "Well, what?" So I went back to the good doctor, and it's something that him and his partner, who happens to be Dr. Joseph Lin, a world-renowned cosmetic chemist, had created this formulation based on the basic belief that you should actually nourish your skin with what it's made of. I mean, kind of a basic concept. And that was, combining certain combinations of amino acids. Well, I became so fascinated because they had been using this in the healthcare industry, and the public didn't know a dang thing about it. So I said, well, somebody needs to bring this out. Somebody needs to make this available, and that's how I founded the company in May of 1999.
It's always interesting how people get together. You've got a degree in social science. You were a minor league baseball player with the Oakland A's. The last thing I'm sure on your mind was, I'm going to start this company, and we're going to help people with their aging problems. You end up with the golfing with the doctor, and you find out this is something doctors been using for like back in the 1980s. So you buy the rights for the company, you go to work with a chemical engineer, and suddenly you're working out of your garage and you're selling this product.
Well, it was really this, I had a extensive science background, so I understood it a lot, and I couldn't get it out of my head. I mean, I really couldn't. I said, look, this is the opportunity that anyone waits for in life. And so my attitude was, if other people have the same results, then I'll have a successful company. And yeah, I didn't have any other know-how than that, just the belief. So as I got out and I sold 4 jars my first day, not exactly the greatest beginning, but what happened was exactly what I thought would happen. People started talking about it, and within 6 months, I was getting calls from people all over the United States who had heard about it, from somebody who had heard about it, who had used it, so on and so forth. And the next thing I know, I got a real company on my hands. The next thing I know, I'm expanding. I have distribution. People are begging for more products. I'm still working with, I'm literally become like the apprentice to these 2 doctors. I start really studying more and becoming literally probably the leading expert on this whole, in the world, on this whole amino acid use, and I'm the only one doing it. And I'm thinking, man, this is great. And so all I did was continue with this technology, because what is so awesome about this, and people really get it, number one, if you believe a good way to take care of your skin is to put on it what it's made of, that's number one. Number two, our technology is the basic chemistry of life. It's not a fad. It won't go out of vogue. It'll be the same now, today, and tomorrow. This is the basic level of how it all works. We harnessed it, and we're still the only ones that know how to do it.
You're listening to This Week in America. Our website is thisweekinamerica.us. Ron Cummings, our guest on the program, CEO and founder of Aminogenesis Skincare. His website is very simple, aminogenesis.com. You can go to our website and link on or go directly to Ron's website. A number of products that Ron is very proud of. We're going to talk specifically about a new product you've got, which is called Age Control. And I mentioned in the beginning, all these products deal with making us look younger. And you say something very interesting. Before you can look 10 years younger, you really need to understand what makes you look younger in the first place. And there are a couple of things that we really need to concern ourselves with. Talk about those, and then the one in particular that I've never heard about before until I started looking into to your background.
Well, here's the thing. There's two things that basically cause the aging appearance of your skin. It's a chemical process called oxidation, and the other one is called glycation.
That's the one. And you say glycation is the one we really need to be concerned about.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's been in the industry, that's been like the elephant in the room that no one wants to talk about because there hasn't been a dang thing anybody can do about it. You know, if you wonder why you have dark circles or spider veins or sagging or stressed-looking skin, and no matter what products you use, it doesn't get any better, that's because the glycation process is going on, and you don't have anything in your cabinet to fight it. And unfortunately, in the industry, almost without exception, every ingredient is an antioxidant. It's designed to help fight oxidation. Well, that's great, but that's only half the puzzle, and it's not the biggest, enemy. I mean, glycation is literally the machinery of aging skin.
Well, and you say it's responsible for virtually every sign of aging skin. I mean,
yes.
Every time, like you said, all the symptoms we go through, I got to do something to correct that. Glycation is at the root of it.
Yes, and what glycation is this. It is the binding of excess sugar molecules and proteins with your skin proteins like collagen and elastin. And once that happens, those sugar molecules and proteins, they're like attack, and they grab onto your proteins, and then they malform them, they misshape them, and your proteins become like an animal with a parasite. They become dysfunctional, hard, they excrete exotoxins, which causes swelling, and once that happens to your skin and your proteins, they're done. And that's the belief, that there was nothing that can be done about it. And recently, some French scientists made some discoveries that have changed all of that, and now there's a brand new area of anti-aging that's available that was not available, last year.
Well, talk about this new technology that you have, the new product you have. You literally found the fountain of youth.
Well, what's really interesting is I don't know if I'm going to call it the fountain of youth, but what I thought is the very first viable treatment that can actually finally turn back the ravages of this process called glycation. And I'm a big believer that somewhere on planet Earth is the answer to almost everything, every ailment man has. Well, some scientists were doing some studies on a special extract from a rare silk plant found in the Himalayan mountains. And they found that it had this amazing anti-glycation properties. And so in the laboratory, they were actually able to test it and find out that not only would it stop this glycation process, but it would force the bond to be broken. So it would literally get rid of the parasites, if you will, on your collagen proteins. And that would allow them to return to normal shape, normal function, normal look. So, of course, naturally, wow, this could be fantastic. So they did a study with 500 European women, and they each used this solution twice a day for 60 days. And over the course of 60 days, the results were so phenomenal. The average was the women looked 8 to 10 years younger after 60 days of use by simply adding this new additive, this new treatment, this new serum to their everyday regime.
I'm fascinating how you take a product like that, develop it, take it to the market, and a big part of this is clinical trials, and I know you had like a 55-page report on the clinical trials. Let's talk a little bit about that, because the proof is really in the results that you have. How extensive was this?
Well, here's the thing that's interesting, and this is the strangest part about this industry, is that no matter how awesome these clinical trials are, the truth is it'll never see the light of day in advertising. Because there's this weird block that, on my desk, I have pages and stacks of clinical trials on the most amazing ingredients that talk about repair of DNA or reversing this or repairing that. And guess what? I don't ever get to advertise that stuff, because if you start really marketing and advertising based on the clinical studies, even though they are true, then you start running afoul of what's considered making a drug claim, and then the drug companies come down on you, and the FDA comes down on you, or the local attorney generals, because they don't want you to make any claims that might sound like a drug claim. And basically anything that you claim is helping the structure or function of your skin is a drug claim. So you have to take all of these wonderful clinical science. You think in America, you could say it if it was true, right?
Yes.
Nah, you can't.
Yes.
You can't. Even if it's true, you can't. So what you have to do is you have to go back and say, hey, look, guess what? We found this new thing. We think it's great. Wink, wink. All these women used it, and here's the results. Now, I can't really go back and say that, well, this proves that it reversed the glycation process and blah, blah. I can't do that. I really can't. So while I can talk about the results in a forum like this, I could never go out there and advertise. And no one else, I'm in the same boat with anybody else. I don't get to make any more claims just because my clinicals are incredibly strong than the average product. And that's what makes this industry hard.
This product is called Age Control. Now, you'll get all the information and some great videos at Ron's website, which is aminogenesis.com. You can log on to our website and link up with that as well. Featured recently on the Marie Osmond Show. Also, chances are you've seen Ron, if you watch Home Shopping over the years, on all the major home shopping channels, not only in the United States, but you're doing very well with this product on an international basis as well.
Yeah, it's been a whole lot of fun. I mean, once you're successful in one TV shopping venue, then the ones from the other countries want you. And so I basically kind of do a circuit where I go to, I travel, I go to Tokyo, I go to Australia, then I go to Korea. I mean, Korea is just a real kick. I mean, they really are in it for home shopping. They have 6 major channels. The population, much more of the population shops that way. So it's really fun. And once you have a successful product here in the U.S., you're pretty much hot property everywhere else, and it just makes it a lot of fun. But more importantly, it allows you to get your message out there. It gets people using, a really solid product that they can be happy with for a long time. I mean, it's kind of a fun deal. In fact, I'm on my way to Tokyo on November 1st to do this same thing.
It's a completely new anti-aging strategy. Let's talk a little bit about the directions, and then people are probably thinking, okay, can I use this with other products? Is it good for all skin types? How is this applied? How do you use it?
Well, that's what's so kind of almost brilliant about this new treatment is, number one, I don't want you to change. Most people hate the fact that I got a whole cabinet full of products and I'm supposed to stop using them. So the answer is no. All those products that you have are designed to help you with one end of the spectrum, and that's, oxidation. This is your new strategy. It's a new category within anti-aging. So all you do is put this on first in the morning and in the evening, then go ahead and use your extra products that you have. It's made for all skin types, men or women, because we all suffer the same problems. Whether we're man or woman or whatever our skin type is, we all are subjected to the ravages of the aging machine called glycation.
The website is aminogenesis.com. Our guest on the program is Ron Cummings, CEO and founder of Aminogenesis Skincare. You've been doing this for over 2 decades with some very successful products, and you'll find those at the website. This has to make you feel good when the products are not only out there and being used, but you're getting such glowing reviews, people saying, literally, this product has made me feel better about myself.
Well, I think that, as people that we create products, and when you're out there in the public and you get that kind of feedback, it just spurs you on to want to do a better job and a better job. And yeah, it has. I mean, it really has made a difference for some people who have had, it's amazing what the human body can do when it's properly sort of taken care of or nourished. And I liken our products to kind of when your body's properly nourished from nutrition, eating food, what your skin can do when it's properly taken care of and nourished. And it is, the human body is an extraordinary thing. And if I can put the body in a better position to do a better job of its own daily maintenance and repair and all that stuff, the results will be fantastic. So, yeah, it has been. Some of the heartwarming stories have been, one of the greatest things that has ever happened to me is, I was thinking about, wow, what about these poor soldiers of ours who are living through the ravages of being on the front line in these places like Afghanistan with no baths, unbelievable temperatures, 120, 130 degrees. So I adopted a special forces group, and I sent them a bunch of our products. I'm thinking to myself, I don't think I'll ever hear from them. Not only did I hear from them, but I received a special commendation from the Department of the United States of America, from the Army, thanking me for this and what amazing, results that they had, and the fact that this was so great, and they were so thankful, and they also sent me an American flag that was flown over a forward battle position just to thank me for an act that was just purely to help them.
Ron Cummings, our guest on This Week in America, our website, thisweekinamerica.us. Ron is CEO, founder of Aminogenesis Skincare. His website, once again, is aminogenesis.com. The product in particular we were talking about in the program, but there are many. The product is a new one. It's called Age Control. You can log onto our website and get more information. A couple minutes left in the program. I mentioned that your company develops and acquires anti-aging technologies from all around the world. I want to talk just a little bit about that process. When someone you have working for you says, Ron, I think I'm onto something, or somebody comes to you and says, we just heard this chemist in Japan is really working on something exciting. How long does it take from that idea, from getting the implication that there's something out there to actually refining it and putting it on the market?
Well, that's the beauty about being a small sort of, biotech company that we are. I mean, I am incredibly fast and nimble. And, I was in Japan a couple of years ago, and I saw a clinical study. And it was all in Japanese. I didn't understand a word of it, but the subtitles on the graphs were in English. And I read the subtitles, and I understood immediately the implications for this. So I brought it back here, and I had it all translated. And what it did, it was all about amino acids. And what it did was the report indicated that by changing the ratio of amino acids in the formulations, in other words, instead of having a one-to-one ratio of certain amino acids, like for every one of these amino acids, there's another one of these, and so on and so forth, there was an indication that if I increased the ratio of some and in relation to others, in other words, 3 of these amino acids to 2 of these amino acids to 1 of these amino acids in the same formulation, I could boost collagen production by 400%. I thought that was absolutely extraordinary. So what I did right now, I came back and I said, all right, from now on, every formulation, we're going to go with this ratio, bang, 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 in all of our products. So it can happen very quickly. I have read results, I've seen stuff, and I've literally got into market within 6 months.
That's amazing, and you'll find out all the information on Ron at his website, aminogenesis.com. As we mentioned, we'll go back to where we started the program. Basically, amino acids, that's been the key. When you discovered that and found out doctors literally had been using this since the 1980s, you were onto something.
Well, I was onto something, because here's the problem, and people always ask me, well, why isn't everyone else doing that? Well, listen, amino acids are extremely difficult to work on with individually. They all have different chemical properties. So when you take each one of these individual building blocks, they don't want to stay together. In other words, it's kind of like mixing oil and vinegar, right. Oil and water, so to speak. So our chemist had to actually invent a manufacturing process that would allow all of these individual amino acids to stay stable and cohesive in a water-based formula, which would be necessary if these amino acids were going to be bioavailable, meaning any good. And you couldn't heat them or manufacturing them to death, so to speak. And so that's the whole key to what we do. We utilize a technology that no one else knows how to do in order to put unlike ingredients together in a formulation that remain stable, cohesive, and are able to actually supply the skin with its basic needs, so to speak. Collagen protein is made of 17 different distinct amino acids, and if you're missing just one of those amino acids, your body can't make that protein, period. So the reservoir of building blocks is what's important.
You've certainly developed an anti-aging strategy for all of us, and we appreciate that. If you work on something for the prostate, let me know. That'll be my next product I need to tackle here. The website is very simple, aminogenesis.com. Ron Cummings, our guest on the program. Go to our website, thisweekinamerica.us, and link on to Ron's website. Some great videos there as well. Ron, it's been a pleasure. Look forward to having you back on the program. Thank you for sharing that story with us.
That's wonderful. Been a great time. Thank you so much. I'll look forward to being back.
You're listening to This Week in America on the Blue Funk Broadcasting Radio Network.